Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to be going over some math concepts, some coins, and reviewing 2D and 3D shapes. Let's get started. Do you remember the song that we used to sing in class? It was about the coin song. For example, we would sing, "A penny's worth one, a nickel is worth 5, a dime is worth 10, and a quarter 25. Let's do that again. A penny's worth 1. A nickel is worth 5. A dime is worth 10. And a quarter 25. Now, boys and girls, you may or may not remember that we talked about the penny, for example. The penny's worth 1 cent. And the person that's on our penny is our president, our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. And if you remember, he grew up very poor. He loved to read. He didn't get to go to school, but he loved to read and he worked really hard and became a lawyer. And then eventually he became our 16th president, and he believed in freedom, right? And that everyone was created equal. So Abraham Lincoln is on our penny. On our nickel, we have Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. So on your end, make sure that you get some coins at home so that you can compare with my video, because these are pretend ones. But on our nickel is Thomas Jefferson. He was our 3rd president. On our dime is Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was our 32nd president. So he was around a little closer to our time than those other presidents that we already mentioned, Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Jefferson. So Franklin D. Roosevelt, he was a really kind president, and he was involved in during World War II. Okay, and on our quarter, our 25 cent, which is our biggest value of coin, we also have a 50-cent one, a $half one, and a $1 one. But the one that we usually use is a quarter, 25 cents, and that's George Washington, our 1st president. Another name for him is the father of our country. Remember, George Washington, we celebrated him during President's Day for his birthday in February with Abraham Lincoln. And George Washington was a general in the army. He was very brave. He was our 1st president. He's the only president that didn't get to live in the White House because it was being built, because he was the first one. Okay, now our dollar bill. Because he was the father of our country, he's also on our dollar bill, boys and girls. On our $5 bill is again Abraham Lincoln. Remember, he's on our penny. He was our 16th president, and he believed in equality and freedom for everyone. Okay, on our $10 bill, we have Alexander Hamilton. He was not a president. Him and another one that I'm going to mention in a little bit were the only ones that are not that were not presidents on our money. He was the first U.S. Secretary of Treasury. That means the person that was in charge of making the money and handling the money for our country, Alexander Hamilton, on our $10 bill. And on our $20 bill, we have Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson was our 7th president. And on our $50 bill, we have Ulysses S. Grant. He was our president as well. He was our 17th. No, not 17th, 18th president. So one after Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant. I believe he fought for the South. He's on our $20 bill. And on our, our $50 bill, that was Ulysses Grant. Our $100 bill is Benjamin Franklin. Now, Benjamin Franklin was not a president either, just like Andrew Jackson. Alexander Hamilton was not a president. Neither was Benjamin Franklin. He was a very famous scientist and inventor, and a lot of his inventions that we use today, believe it or not, we use today. So check it out with your moms and dads at home. You look it up on YouTube. But he invented bifocals. He made the connection that electricity, there was such a thing as electricity when he did an experiment with a kite and a key during an electrical storm, which is not really a safe idea. But anyway, he's on our $100 bill, Benjamin Franklin. Another song that I thought would be helpful for you to remember, and that I'm going to be sending you, is this little poster. It says, "Penny, penny, easily spent. copper, brown, and worth 1 cent. Nickel, nickel, thick and fat, worth 5 cents. I know that. Dime, dime, little and thin, I remember you're worth 10. Quarter, quarter, big and bold, you're worth 25, I'm told. So you're going to be getting one of these, boys and girls, so that you can practice at home. I would like for you to continue following up at home with your moms and dads with real coins. Play around with them, get to know them. You can even start adding with them with the pennies. I would start with the smaller coins first, the pennies and the nickels. And if you know, since you know how to count by fives, nickels are really easy for that because we already know. Remember the fives? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. So if you take nickels, boys and girls, you can actually practice counting by fives. And then if you take your dimes, which are worth 10 cents, you can practice counting by tens, right? Let's try that. Counting by tens to get to 100. It's a shortcut. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So if you find some dimes at home, you can practice counting by tens. So you can count by ones with the pennies, by fives with the nickels, and by tens with the dimes. So that would be a great practice, mom and dad, at home for you to follow. A very easy exercise for you to do. They also sell the plastic coins. If you order them, it's really neat to have them around for math in the future for the boys and girls. Okay, the next thing we're going to be reviewing is our 2D shapes. Now, as you know, our 2D shapes are flat. We see them all around our environment, and that's always a great way to practice when you're going for a walk with moms and dads, or even just doing, a scavenger hunt at home, or, at a store. You can try looking and spying for some of the different shapes. But like one of the best ways is to look at the signs on our streets. Those are great ways to spy some great shapes. All right, the first shape that we see here is the circle shape. And then the next shape there in orange is the oval shape. So again, we're going to be checking out, look for things that have those types of shapes around you. A square, right? The square has 4 sides and they're all equal. They all have right angles. The corners have right angles. Then we have a rectangle. Remember that the rectangle is 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Just kind of like your doors, right? And did you know that 2 squares put together, one on top of each other, can make a rectangle? Next, we have a triangle. Triangle, remember, is a 3-sided shape. It can be facing any way. There's skinny ones, there's chubby ones. They can be facing sideways. They can be facing upside down. It's still a triangle. All right, a 6-sided shape is called a hexagon. And remember, boys and girls, in our classroom, you learned that 2 trapezoids put together can make a hexagon. So if you ever get some plastic shapes to practice at home, they love making that, moms and dads, with the 2 trapezoids, a hexagon. All right, the shape that looks like a house is called a pentagon. It has 5 sides. Pentagon. Octagon, it's on our stop sign. It has 8 sides. And of course, everybody confuses it and calls it a diamond, but the correct way is called a rhombus. And then here's our famous trapezoid. Remember, 2 of these make a hexagon. And then, of course, a heart. Who can forget hearts, right? Our favorite. And then the star shape, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond, rhombus in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. All right, those were our 2D shapes. Now reviewing our 3D shapes. Again, always be on the lookout for the different kinds of shapes. And as you know, 3D shapes are shapes that pop all around, okay? And even 3D shapes can have other shapes on their bottoms or around them. So let's take a look. For example, we have a pyramid. Now, if you look carefully at a pyramid, okay, on the sides of the pyramid, all around the pyramid are triangles, but on the bottom of the pyramid is a square. So if it had a triangle on the bottom, it would be called a prism, a triangular prism. But this kind of shape is called a pyramid because it's a square on the bottom and then the triangles all around, right? Here is a triangular prism that I was talking about. And then here is a rectangular prism that looks like a box, right? Long, but two short sides, two long sides, but it's like a box. And then, of course, the cube, which you've seen in a cube of ice, right? Cubes of salt, so little blocks that you play with, right? So cube. And then a cone, which can be like the party hats, right? Cone, or an ice cream cone that you love to lick. Cone. And then the sphere. Remember, a circle is flat, like a plate. A sphere is round all around. It pops like a ball. Sphere. And then this shape is called a cylinder. Cylinder. And a lot of the 3D shapes roll. Not all of them, but some of them roll. So that's another way kind of to tell that they're 3D. But cylinders, like the can of food that you see, there's lots of blocks in that shape of a cylinder. So check those out all around you. Now, one of the things that I would love for you to make that I'm going to be sending you is if you have toothpicks and marshmallows, I would love if you can practice making some 3D shapes like a cube using marshmallows and like I said, either thin sticks or toothpicks to make a 3D cube. Here is a rectangular prism, again, with the toothpicks and the marshmallows. So these are fun 3D shape structures. Here is a triangular pyramid that I was telling you about. On the bottom is a triangle and all around is triangles. So this is a triangular pyramid. And here is a prism, a triangular prism. So looks a little bit like a tent that you would go on. So boys and girls, I hope that you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope that you got a lot out of it. I'm going to be sending you this as well, which has everyday shapes that you can find with these 3D shapes. And I hope that you enjoyed it. Keep practicing at home. See you soon.